A tropical storm leaving its mark as it heads towards the Panhandle, flooding the San Carlos Island and the streets of St. Petersburg. The storm already whipping up winds and bringing rain in Florida tonight ahead of its arrival. Tonight, all eyes are on Debby, now a tropical storm and threatening to become a hurricane in a matter of hours. Good evening. I'm Aaron Dixon. Thank you for joining us. President Biden has approved a disaster declaration for Florida, and as of right now, the storm is expected to make landfall tomorrow in the Panhandle or northern Florida. This afternoon, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis put more counties under a state of emergency. 61 of Florida's 67 counties are now under that state of emergency. The counties not highlighted in green are the ones under the state of emergency, and that includes Walton, Holmes, Jackson, and Washington counties in our area. Right now, the majority of the Florida Peninsula's west coast is under a tropical storm warning. Some parts of the state already hit with a deluge of rain. This system is expected to bring excessive amounts of rain, storm surge, and strong winds to Florida's Big Bend, but it could also cause problems in Georgia and South Carolina. And here in the Wiregrass, Debby could also leave its mark, bringing a chance of flooding and gusty winds. And here's a live look from our station in Tampa tonight. This is from the mobile storm tracker heading north of Tampa towards Citrus County, Florida. The eastern bands of the storm already bringing some rain to that area. Joining us now is Chief Meteorologist Chad Crilly, who has been tracking this storm from the very start and joins us now with the latest on the storm, its projected landfall, and its potential impact here in the Wiregrass. Chad.
Hi, Aaron. We have been watching this one for a while, and there is going to be some impact here in the Wiregrass. Luckily, not as intense as areas just to our east, but there's a lot of information we want to get to. So let's start with our satellite and radar and latest stats on Tropical Storm Debby, expected to become Hurricane Debby within the next 24 hours. So look at the sustained winds. They're now above 60 miles per hour. Those sustained winds are of 65 and gusting to 75 miles per hour. Here's what I'm watching this evening. It's where the center or the eye is going. Over the past couple of hours, we have seen a small wobble. You can see it if you look closely to the east. That would, if that continued, likely limit our impacts a little bit further here in the Wiregrass. It's just too soon to tell whether or not it's a wobble or a new steering path of the storm. We'll know more over the next couple of hours. In the meantime, weather conditions here in the Wiregrass already starting to deteriorate. So there is a feeder band, an outer band of Debby that's now just moved through Tallahassee, and it is about to move into eastern parts of the Wiregrass, including Early County as well as Houston County within the next hour and a half. We're going to find some gusty winds in there, the potential of torrential rainfall, and yes, some lightning strikes possible. So the weather is going to get bad for a short period of time here in the Wiregrass this evening. Then things are expected to calm down before conditions turn bad again tomorrow afternoon. Here's the cone from the National Hurricane Center with the latest advisory. It still has Debby making landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in the Big Bend of Florida sometime between early Monday morning and Monday afternoon. Notice how we are on the western side of this storm. That is sometimes referred to as the clean side of the system. So it means our impacts will be less, but not zero. Then Debby moves into the Carolinas. It really slows down. It'll be a big rain problem for them as we head towards the middle and even end of the week. The cone here getting wider because the degree of uncertainty is increasing with Debby into next week. But for now, we focus on our tropical alerts. Luckily, we have no official tropical alerts here in the Wiregrass. The closest one is a tropical storm watch that's in effect for Miller County. We'll keep an eye on that. If we see a wobble back to the west, it is possible we start to see some tropical storm warnings or additional watches here in the Wiregrass. Again, it's something that we're going to be keeping an eye on here really over the next couple of hours. Winds already picking up with that feeder band I showed you just a moment ago, gusting to 23 miles per hour in Mariana, Donaldsonville at 18. Even in Dothan, we have some gusty winds at about 5 to 10, close to 15 miles per hour. And those winds will pick up with that first feeder band. Things may get a little better for a short period of time overnight tonight. And then Monday, we're going to see scattered thunderstorms developing first during the morning hours, northeast winds 15 to 20. You can see the red. This is a time period Monday afternoon where conditions will be the worst. That's when we could find some gusts to 45 miles per hour. That is tropical storm strength before Monday night. This is going to be after 7 p.m. Conditions start to improve, and we will see those rain showers coming to an end. But this is just the start of a lot of different information I want to bring you. So coming up here in just a bit, we're going to go much more in depth with the impacts that Debby is bringing across the Gulf Coast and right here in the Wiregrass. Stick with us for that.
Thanks a lot, Chad. And here's a live look along Florida's coast. This is from Hollywood Beach, just north of Miami. Even on the eastern coast, the winds are getting stronger and whipping up waves along the shore. The storm picking up steam in the Gulf of Mexico overnight and is already filling up some streets with floodwaters. And if it does stall over the southeast, it could drop historic amounts of rain to parts of Georgia and South Carolina. Faith Abube is in Gainesville, Florida with the latest.
Tropical Storm Debby rolling towards Florida. The system is expected to strike the Big Bend region where the Panhandle meets the peninsula.
It is going to move very slowly across northern Florida and southeast Georgia. And the result of that is less going to be a wind event at that point than a rain event. It is going to drop a lot of rain across many parts of the state.
About 10 million people in its path. More than 10 inches of rain in some areas expected, along with fears of life-threatening flash floods. Storm surges potentially as high as 10 feet. More than 1,600 flights canceled.
You can prepare as much as you want, and it just kind of depends on what happens.
Workers in Jacksonville clearing potentially hazardous trees. Governor Ron DeSantis urging residents to be on alert.
Most deaths from flooding are from individuals who are driving in flooded waters. It only takes 1 foot of moving water to move a vehicle, so please stay off the road if a flood watch or warning is issued in your area.
President Biden has approved a disaster declaration for Florida. Georgia's governor activating emergency resources, and a state of emergency declared in South Carolina. Faith Abube, ABC News, Gainesville, Florida.